watching Wanted with me, Jonathan. You may have seen several movies where kidnap was the plot of the story. It makes for a wonderful plot in movies, but in real life, it is scary. But the brave Rajanakunte cops have managed to rescue two hostages and recover the ransom amount from the kidnappers. Take a look at the story to find out more. You may have watched several movies which center around kidnapping. Kidnap stories make for interesting plots because of the way the victim is kidnapped, the way the kidnappers hold the victim for ransom, and the exchange. Today's episode of Wanted is very similar, but this is a true story and a spine-chilling one. This is Hemant, a 17-year-old boy who studies in a junior college in RT Nagar. He is the son of a businessman named Raju. August 26th, 2019. Like any other day, Hemant went to college on this day too. Raju's driver Keshav Reddy used to drop him at college and pick him up. Nothing was different about that day. Keshav waited for Hemant to return from college and picked him up. But that is where their day was very different. While Keshav and Hemant were returning home, a group of men in another car hurled a stone at the glass of their car. Hemant and Keshav got down from the car to see what had happened. They had walked into a trap. Hemant did not return home that day, nor did Keshav. When Hemant did not return, Raju tried calling him. But Hemant's phone was switched off. He then tried to call Keshav, but his phone was switched off too. Raju was close to panic. He tried calling all of Hemant's friends, but they all told him that Hemant and Keshav had left together in their car, just like they did every day. Keshav had joined work recently and Raju began worrying if he had something to do with Hemant's disappearance. He knew Keshav had some financial troubles and wondered if he had kidnapped Hemant. Raju had another driver named Satish. Satish was sure that Keshav must have kidnapped Hemant. Raju decided it was best to inform the cops. He went to the Rajanakunte police station to lodge a complaint. In this complaint, Raju stated that Keshav and Hemant had left their college around 4 p.m. and that they should have returned home by 5 p.m. But they hadn't returned and both their phones were switched off. Raju gave the cops the registration number of the car. He gave the cops a photo of his son and a description of Keshav. After all, he had a car, he knew the boy's whereabouts and he was in need of money. The cops started looking for the car. They scanned CCTV visuals across the entire region. Now let us tell you that this is a laborious task. There are many cars just like this one and the cops cannot forward more than 4 frames per second if they have to spot one car. And there are so many routes that Keshav could have taken, so the cops had to be careful and alert while they were looking for the suspect. But the cops were successful in finding the car. They noticed that the car had been traveling towards Sola Devanahalli. The cops went to Sola Devanahalli and found the car too. But they realized that the car was parked in a spot where there were no CCTV cameras. So the cops were unsure if there were other accomplices or if it was just Keshav who was the kidnapper. The cops sent notices to other police stations in the city and asked them to watch out for Hemant. They still did not have Keshav's photo at the time, but they kept looking for someone matching his description around Sola Devanahalli. Many days passed like this. The cops were looking for leads, but they were not getting anywhere. They bugged Raju's phone so they could listen to what the kidnappers were saying in case they made a ransom call. September 8th, 2019. Siddharaju got a phone call. The kidnappers were on the other line. They gave him a very brief message. They told him that Hemant was with them. They told him that they would call him in a few days and asked him not to go to the cops or talk to anyone regarding the case. The cops were listening on the other side. The cops told Siddharaju to not mention any of these details to his employees. Siddharaju closed his office for a few days and sent his house help and driver on leave. He was in touch with the cops, but secretly. The cops did not go to his house as they suspected that the kidnappers could be watching the house. Siddharaju was anxiously waiting for the call. September 12th, 2019. Siddharaju got a phone call again. This time the cops were more prepared. They used a software to triangulate the caller's location. Siddharaju spoke to the kidnappers as if he did not know the cops were not listening. The kidnappers told Siddharaju that they wanted 3 crore rupees ransom in exchange for Hemant. Siddharaju was quite well off and his business was good, but he could not afford that much money. He told the kidnappers that he could pay them 50 lakh rupees. The kidnappers insisted that the figure was not negotiable. The cops had instructed Siddharaju to talk to the kidnappers for as long as possible so they could triangulate the caller's position more accurately. Siddharaju knew this, so he started negotiating with the kidnappers anyway. After a while, they agreed that Siddharaju would have to pay 1 crore and 70 lakh rupees in exchange for his son's life. Siddharaju agreed and asked them about the exchange spot. The kidnappers told him that they would give him a call in a while and let him know the exact location. Siddharaju had done his job by stalling the callers for long enough so the cops could find their location. The cops realized that the call had come from Dharmapuri in Tamil Nadu. They alerted the Tamil Nadu cops and explained the situation to them. The Tamil Nadu cops went to the spot where the kidnappers were purported to be and checked but found no one at the location. Either the kidnappers were on the move or they were using some technology to trick the cops. The cops realized that the kidnappers were no amateurs but part of an organized crime syndicate. They had to be extra careful now. Siddharaju had clearly been warned not to involve the cops or that his son would be killed. Siddharaju could not even tell the cops to back off because he could not be seen around them. The cops too could not meet him because they feared his whereabouts would be watched. Siddharaju told the cops that he did not mind paying the ransom amount, but that he did not want any harm to his son. Cops assured him that they would not intervene until Hemant was safe. Siddharaju got the cash ready and packed it in a bag. Had they put a GPS bug in the bag, it would have been easy for the cops to catch the kidnappers eventually. But they couldn't do that under the given circumstances, so they waited to see where the kidnappers would instruct Siddharaju for the exchange. September 13th, 2019. Siddharaju got a call from the kidnappers at 1 a.m. They told him to come near PES College in Electronic City. They had instructed him that the exchange would happen at around the same time the next day. The cops who were listening on the other side of the line took note of the location and time. They formed a team of 14 officers and 21 constables to nab the kidnappers. They stationed different teams at different locations. They made all arrangements to ensure they wouldn't be spotted. But around the exchange time, Siddharaju got a call and the location was changed again. This time the kidnappers had asked Siddharaju to come near Kanakapura Road. The cops in control room took some time to pass the information to the cops who were ready for a takedown. The last-minute exchange threw off the cops off the track a bit, but the cops communicated with each other and made plans to nab the kidnappers, but their planning was not as perfect as they would have hoped for. The exchange plot. Siddharaju reached the location where he was supposed to drop off the money. He was ready for the exchange. He did not have any idea where the cops were stationed. All he cared about was the safe exchange of his son. If the cops had managed to nab the kidnappers after the exchange, it would have been a bonus for him. He waited for the kidnappers. Their car arrived. This is the car they had used for the exchange. One man got out of the car. He asked Siddharaju to get down from the car and show him the money first. Siddharaju insisted that he wanted to see his son, but he wasn't in any position to dictate anything. He did as he was told. He got down from the car and placed the bag with the money on the road as he was told. The cops sensed that Siddharaju may be in trouble. They thought that if they jumped into the scene, they would get Hemant and the money, so they intervened. The kidnappers who saw the cops left the man who had got down for the exchange and drove off. The cops tried to nab the man, but he attacked them with a pocket knife. The cops tried to shoot his leg to neutralize him, but they missed and fired at his arm. They got hold of him and learned that his name was Naveen. They asked him where the others were. He told them that Hemant and the other kidnappers were in the car. The cops went after the car. They chased the kidnappers for more than 3 to 4 kilometers. The kidnappers then drove into a field. They all got down from their cars and tried to make the run on foot. The cops fired in the air. The kidnappers realized that they could hold Hemant hostage and use him as a bargaining chip to walk free. They held Hemant at knife point and asked the cops to back off. The kidnappers had the perfect way out for their escape. One of their men had already been nabbed, but they could still make a run for it. And that is exactly what they did.
In the first part of our today's episode of Wanted, we have told you how Hemant was kidnapped. We told you how the kidnappers planned the exchange. We told you how the cops tried to foil the kidnap by nabbing one of the men. But now, they are holding Hemant hostage at knife point. Will the cops be able to rescue Hemant and nab the kidnappers, or will they get away? Watch on as we give you all the details.
This is Hemant. He was kidnapped on 26th of August. His driver Keshav Reddy was suspected to be the main kidnapper. The kidnappers called Siddharaju, Hemant's father, and discussed the terms of the exchange.
ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ರ್ಯಾನ್ಸಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಜುಗೆ. ನಮಗೆ 3 ಕೋಟಿ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗನ್ನ ಸೇಫಾಗಿ ತಂದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಅವನ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪಾಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ರ್ಯಾನ್ಸಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿಡಿದು ಎಲ್ಲ ತನಿಖೆ ಮುಂದುವರಿತದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಹ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರ್ಯಾನ್ಸಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಂತರ ರ್ಯಾನ್ಸಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಒರಿಜಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ರವಿಚರಣ್ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ ತಂಡದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಶ್ರಮಪಟ್ಟು ನೈಸ್ ರೋಡ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ನೈಸ್ ರೋಡ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಲಗಟ್ಪುರದ ಹತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಸ್ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂಡದವರು ಒಬ್ಬನ್ನ ಪತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅವನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಅಂತ ಆನೇಕಲ್ ಸಬ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಗಾಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವರು ಫೈರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ನವೀನ್ ಅಂತ ನಂತರ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು, ನವೀನ್ ಅಂತ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕೈಗೆ ಇಂಜರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
They demanded 1 crore and 70 lakhs in exchange for Hemant's safe return. The cops had bugged Siddharaju's phone after he lodged a missing complaint. The kidnappers instructed Siddharaju not to contact the cops, so the cops refrained from meeting Siddharaju, fearing that the kidnappers may have an eye on Siddharaju's whereabouts. But the cops knew where the exchange would happen based on the call that Siddharaju had got. The exchange point was Kanakpura Road. The cops had formed 9 special teams with 14 officers and 21 constables to nab the kidnappers. Siddharaju had reached the exchange point and had got down to give one of the men the money. The cops realized that the kidnappers' car and the money were in their sight. They thought if they intervened now, they would be able to rescue the boy and get the ransom money. but the kidnappers had seen the cops and drove off, leaving one man behind. The cops asked the man to surrender, but he tried to pull out a knife and attacked the cops. The cops tried to shoot at his leg but missed and managed to hit his arm. They managed to nab him. Another team followed the car in which the kidnappers were taking Hemant. They chased the car for 3 to 4 kilometers. The kidnappers then turned into a field and abandoned their car. They held Hemant hostage at knife point to bargain for their freedom. But the cops were in no mood for a negotiation. They shot at the kidnappers' leg and nabbed them all.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನ ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕೇಶವರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಡ್ರೈವರು ಅವನು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಬ್ಬರು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಕೂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಸರೆಂಡರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವರು ಸರೆಂಡರ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕತ್ತಲಿರ್ತದೆ, ಸುಮಾರು ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಜಾವ 4ರಿಂದ 4:15 ಒಳಗೆ ಇದು ಸಮಯ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕತ್ತಲಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಬ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಮುರಳೀಧರ್ ರಾಜಾನುಕೊಂಟೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತೋಳಿಗೆ ಗಾಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಮಧುಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್, ಅವನಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಗಾಯಗಳಾಗ್ತವೆ. ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮವರು ಫೈರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಂಜರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಒಬ್ಬನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಅಂತ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನ ಹೆಸರು ತಂಗಬಾಳ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಜರ್ಡ್ ಏನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದಾಖಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹುಡುಗ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ PUC ಹುಡುಗ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಪಾಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಪಾರಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅವನನ್ನು ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಕೇಶವರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಡ್ರೈವರ್ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಏನು ಗಾಯಗಳಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಪಾಯದಿಂದ ಪಾರಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ.
Yes, there were the 3 kidnappers besides the one that had already been nabbed. The cops fires at 2 of them while another surrendered after he saw his accomplices getting shot. The cops then rescued Hemant. To their surprise, Keshav was tied up and left in the car too. That is when they found out that Keshav was not one of the kidnappers and rescued him. They brought the 4 men they had just nabbed for questioning. They have been identified as Naveen, Prashant, Tangabala, Guru. They grilled them until they confessed to the crime. The cops had not only managed to nab the kidnappers, but also rescue Hemant and Keshav. What the cops had done was admirable indeed. When the cops questioned the accused, they learned more details about the case. They had learned that the mastermind behind the kidnapping was Siddharaju's other driver, Satish. Satish was reportedly upset with his boss for not paying him well. He knew that Siddharaju was rich and made a lot of money. He was the one who told the kidnappers to nab both Hemant and Keshav to make it look like Keshav was the prime accused. Satish's whereabouts were still uncertain at the time of filing this report. The cops are currently on the lookout for him. The cops have also learned about how the 2 men were kidnapped. Keshav was in the driver's seat. The kidnappers were in their car right behind him. They hurled a stone at Keshav's car. They waylaid the car when Keshav slowed down. Keshav and Hemant had got down from their car to see what had happened. That is when the kidnappers forced them into their car and drove away.
ನೋಡಿ, ಫಸ್ಟು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಲೇಟು ಬೀಳ್ತದಂತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ಲೇಟು ಬಿದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅವರು ಯಾರು ಕಲ್ಲು ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾರಂತೆ. ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿದಾಗ ಸಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು 4-5 ಜನ ಬಂದು ಇವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎತ್ತಕೊಡಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, 3 ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ 4 ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಗಾಡಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವ್ರು ಯಾವ ಗಾಡೀಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಕೇಶವರೆಡ್ಡಿ, ಆ ಗಾಡಿನೂ ಸಹ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸ್ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಹೊಡೆಯೋದಾಗಲಿ, ಹಿಂಸೆ ಕೊಡೋದಾಗಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಸೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
One of the kidnappers drove Siddharaju's car to make it look like Keshav was the mastermind behind the conspiracy.
ಕೇಶವರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಕೇಶವರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವನೇ ಡ್ರೈವರು, ಅವನೇ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸೇಫಾಗಿ, ಅವನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಸ್ಪಿಷನ್ ಅವನ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಈಗಿನ ಪ್ರಾಥಮಿಕ ತನಿಖೆಯಿಂದ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿರೋದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವರು ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಈ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಯಾರು, ಈ ನವೀನ್ ಯಾರು, ಮತ್ತು ಈ ತಂಗಬಾಲ್ ಯಾರು, ಇವರು ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಜು ಮಗನ್ನೇ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವೀಗ ತನಿಖೆ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹಲವರು ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿರುವ ಶಂಕೆ ಇದೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ.
They wanted to throw off the cops by not letting them know that they were in this car. The kidnappers had planned the whole crime, but what they did not expect was that Siddharaju would send Satish on leave. Satish was supposed to give the kidnappers all the inside details of Siddharaju's whereabouts, but when he was sent home, they did not know that Siddharaju was in contact with the cops. Had they known, they may have planned the exchange differently. But the cops were very alert during every move they made. They ensured that no one would know about their involvement in the case. The kidnappers tried their best not to get caught, but in this cat and mouse game, the cat did manage to catch the mouse. Siddharaju, Hemant and Keshav will never forget the heroic acts of the cops. The cops have now returned the 1.7 crore rupees to Siddharaju and brought Hemant and Keshav home safely. The cops have proven whether it is a chase or an encounter, they are reliable. The cops are still waiting for the injured accused to return from treatment so they can get more information about Satish and nab him.
ತಂದೆಯವ್ರನ್ನೂ ನಾವೀಗ ಕೂಲಂಕಷವಾಗಿ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಏನು 3 ಜನ ಈಗ ಗುಂಡೇಟು ತಿಂದು ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಹುಷಾರಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಪತ್ತೆ ಹಚ್ತೀವಿ.
They have assured us that they will catch him at the earliest. Look at how successfully they foiled the kidnap and ransom exchange. It will only be a matter of time till they catch Satish and reveal all the details of the crime.
ಈ ಹುಡುಗ ಏನಿದ್ದ 17 ವರ್ಷದವನು ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಅಂತ, ಅವರ ತಂದೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಜು ಅಂತ, ಅವರೊಂದು TVS ಶೋರೂಮ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಯಲಹಂಕ ನ್ಯೂ ಟೌನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಿದ್ದರಾಜು ಅವರು ಠಾಣೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ರಾಜಾನಕುಂಟೆ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಗ 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು FIR ದಾಖಲಿಸಿ ತನಿಖೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ತನಿಖೆಗೆ SP ಗ್ರಾಮಾಂತರ ರವಿಚಂದ್ರಣ್ಣವರು ಹಲವಾರು ತಂಡಗಳನ್ನು ರಚಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ತಂಡಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಕಂಡಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
This is a cautionary tale to all our viewers. Be alert. You never know who is out to get you and your loved ones. So stay alert, stay safe. Prajwal for News 9, Bengaluru.